There are a lot of important things to focus on in Maplestory, but one of the most important things is going to be party bossing. And to go with party bossing, one of the most challenging things for a lot of players is how to actually develop a good party while bossing. So in this video, we're going to be going over everything that I have done in the past to ensure that I make an extremely good party. So first things first, you want to make sure that you understand how party comps work and what's most important inside of party comps. I know for a lot of people, especially when you're first starting out, you want to make sure that you're getting the highest damage people such as Night Lords, Nightwalkers, Canes, Mercedes, and as that is true, that is not the most important thing when developing a party. When developing a party, you want to make sure that you have extremely good supports in that party because those supports are going to give not only yourself, but everyone else in the party final damage stacking. And what final damage is essentially a damage multiplier that is given to everyone in the party. And when you stack final damage multipliers, this makes a party extremely strong. So yes, you do want to make sure that you have strong DPS classes, but you also want to make sure that you are looking for supports as well. And speaking of supports, one of the most overpowered and used supports in the game is going to be a bishop. When you're looking to create a party or recruit people for a party, make sure that you are always looking for a bishop. A bishop is the #1 person to recruit to your party, no matter what the situation is, no matter what boss you're doing. You always want to make sure that you are looking to grab a bishop if possible. This bishop is going to give a ton of IED debuffs, and it's also going to give a ton of final damage to the party. So this is going to make everybody's damage in the party extremely high, and it's also going to give a ton of IED debuffs. This is a great class to pick up and have inside of your party. On top of the final damage and debuffs that it is giving to the boss, it is also giving a ton of survivability. Bishops can heal the party with Angel Ray, and they can also put down a door and cups that allow all party members to gain 100% HP while inside the boss. So it doesn't only give a ton of damage, but it also gives a ton of survivability to the party as well. On top of looking for a bishop, you want to make sure that you're looking for a Kana. Kana is going to give 15% final damage to the entire party while in domain, and it's also going to give boss barriers that give a percentage of boss to everybody inside of it. On top of the final damage that it's giving to the party, it is also going to give a 15-second bind, which can be extremely crucial in a ton of bosses like Black Mage P1, Kalos, and even bosses like Saren. Having that extra 5 seconds is extremely important for a lot of classes, especially ones like Night Lord and other classes with an extremely long origin. So having that Kana in the party is going to make boss clears significantly easier. On top of having a bishop and a Kana in the party, you now have a little bit of versatility in terms of who you can look for. You can either look for a battle mage, a dawn warrior, or even a mechanic. These are all going to offer extremely good support and final damage, and is going to allow your party to do an extremely high amount of damage with 3 supports in the party. Now having 3 supports is very good, and you could even have 4 if you want to, but after you found your support, you want to make sure that you're looking for other classes that are actually doing a ton of damage. You don't need to be super nitpicky with the classes that are actually doing damage, because the FD given from all these other supports is going to make pretty much any class extremely strong. But if you're looking for extremely strong classes, I would look for classes like Kane, Nightwalker, Night Lord, Mercedes. These are all going to have extremely high bursts, and when party bossing, the most important time to do damage is when that boss is bound in that 15-second duration. So looking for classes that have a very high damage output in a short amount of time is going to be extremely important to developing a very good party long term. So now that we kind of gone over what classes you want to look for, how do you actually find these classes? This is one of the most difficult things that a lot of people struggle with when developing parties. So I'm going to show you what I do to recruit and look for people that I want to have in my party. So first things first, you're going to want to join the Maplestory server called Reboot Central. I'll put the link in the description below. This is a Maplestory Discord that has pretty much everybody in the server. This also has people looking for parties, recruiting parties, asking questions. If you aren't in Reboot Central, I highly recommend joining this server. You can go to the boss roles and select what kind of bosses you're looking for, from early game, mid game, all the way to end game. But for this scenario, we'll just act like we are recruiting a Black Mage party. So you can obviously put your message at the bottom and say recruiting party, looking for bishop and supports, and then give whatever your DPS is as a class. I don't actually like to just put the recruiting message in because chances are not a lot of people are going to reach out to you, especially highly sought after classes like Bishop, Kana, Dawn Warrior, Battle Mage, and Mechanic. What I like to do is go through the feed from people who are joining parties and DM them individually. So for example, you have this person right here joining Bishop, 32k Benny. So what I would do is I would DM them and I would say, hey, I am recruiting a party for Black Mage, and then I would give them the times that I am available to run in. One of the hardest things when developing a party is actually scheduling, so you want to make sure that everybody that you DM is going to fit within your time schedule. So for example, if you can only run from reset to +3, make sure that that is in your first DM when you ask these people. The worst thing is when you've recruited an entire party and you didn't ask anybody times that they're available, and then you go into the Discord group message that you've created and nobody can run at the same time. So making sure that you give them a set time is extremely important. So I already found one bishop here. I would keep scrolling up. I would continue to DM every single support that I have seen, or every single person who looks interesting for the party. So I'll keep scrolling up here. So again, joining BM, level 271 Kana, red dot for February clear. One thing that you have to understand as well is some supports are just going to be mules, and that's totally okay. A mule that's giving 15% FD is going to be better than a min damage player, so it's okay in some instances to recruit a support even if they're not doing a ton of damage. So I would keep scrolling up. I would look for more people. Even this person right here joining practice, 270 Pathfinder, 105 bill a second. It's okay to have people join in a party and learn together. One of the worst things is trying to recruit a party with people that have a ton of egos and they're not willing to learn with a party. Remember, you want to make sure that you're recruiting a party for the long term. It's more fun that way, in my opinion, and you get to know a lot more people, and you get to know these people a lot more, and you end up becoming friends with them long term. So it's fine if you have to go through a learning process with some people. It's worth it in the end if you get a very strong, solid, developed party. And I would just continue to keep scrolling up, and I would DM every single person that looks promising for a party. So this person right here joining Buck, 200 bill per second, February, Phil, or Perm. This is somebody that's willing to be in a Perm party, so I would definitely reach out to this person. I would just continue to scroll up. I would message more than just 3 DPSs. I would message like 20 DPSs and then find the best who fit the party. Don't be afraid to reach out to a lot of people. It's totally okay. And don't be afraid to decline somebody if you've reached out to them before and then it ends up not working out because you found somebody better, or you just found somebody that you work better with. That's totally okay. Remember that you are the one creating the party. You have all the leeway and you have all the freedom to add who you want when you want. So yes, creating parties can be difficult in Maplestory, but it doesn't have to be the most challenging thing in the world. I've never liked just joining random parties. Personally, I've always liked creating and recruiting my own party because then I have all the freedom to add who I want for whatever times that I want to. I hope that this video does help anybody out there who is looking for a party or potentially trying to recruit a party. Remember, it's okay to ask a ton of people. They're all looking for parties for a reason. And remember, supports are extremely valuable, so do not overlook them. But with that being said, you guys, that is going to wrap up this video for today, and until next time, I'll see you all in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.